Yo, what's up, guys? We're streaming again, and yep, it's finally part two, um, the second part of the last stream about well, I wanted to stream all of it in one go, um, but I didn't have time to finish it the first time, so um, if you haven't watched that one and you're interested in watching it, let me see. I forgot what it was called, man, but it's social dissonance and inauthenticity in the workplace. Um, so I'm gonna first do a quick recap of the previous stream. Um, then we'll get into the stuff that I didn't cover last time. Um, by the way, I'm aware that it's not Fool's Day for me right now, but it is April 1st for some people in the world. I think the people watching in Europe, it's already April 1st, but this is not an April Fool's video. I did make an April Fool's video last year, and you can find that on in my videos. But um, this one's not April Fool's. Um, the reason that I couldn't finish part one in a single stream, well, um, it's so this was like at the beginning of the year. So I'm in college right now, and like a third year student, and like the first 2 years and the third year, like the whole time that I've been in college until like the start of 2025, my sleep schedule was just dog shit, completely like fucked up. Sometimes I would stay up until like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning and like wake up in the afternoon. I would miss all my classes. So in order to fix my sleep schedule, well, the reason that my sleep schedule was so bad was because I just couldn't get off the screens, just addicted to my phone, addicted to watching YouTube videos on my laptop and stuff. So at the beginning of 2025, I decided to like enforce limits on my screen time, and I made it so like I used tools to make it so that I couldn't easily disable these limits. So basically, after a certain time, I made it so I'm not allowed to access the internet, basically. Um, yeah, so that's why the previous stream, part one of this, now series got cut short. Um, I could have gotten it done all in one go if I just started the stream earlier, then I could have had time to fit everything, right? But it's like, man, it is just so like hard for me to start shit on time. Um, I mean, here's the thing about procrastination. Like it's like the order that you do stuff actually does matter. Because in my experience, like let's say that I want to stream today, and if I like say, okay, I'm just gonna stream like really late in the day. Like let's say that I just put off streaming until the very end of the day. So like all of the stuff that I do to procrastinate before I start streaming, I'm gonna be like kind of anxious as I'm like whatever I'm doing to procrastinate. Let's say that I'm like browsing Reddit or watching YouTube to procrastinate. Like I'm not going to be fully engaged with the content, with the entertainment, because in the back of my mind I'm always thinking like, oh, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, then I have to start streaming. Like, oh, like I'm constantly looking at the clock to make sure that I have enough time to like that I'm going to get this stream done on time as well. Like, so that I don't run out of time and have to do a fucking part three, which would be atrocious. So it's just a lot better for your mind to do the hard thing first and then relax and consume entertainment afterwards. Oh no, my allergies are like acting up again. That's like another annoying thing that had had to deal with during the previous stream is the seasonal allergies. I don't know what exactly it is I'm allergic to. It's maybe some kind of like pollen or some dust or something. I don't know, man. But dude, my nose really does not feel good and I keep on like sneezing. So if I randomly stop talking and just like mute my mic, that's what's going on. It's because I have to sneeze like 3 times in a row. So that's why I'm muting. Um, all right, guys. So without further ado, let's just get into the recap of part one. Here we go, guys. So in part one, in the last stream in part one, I talked about my social life and some of the struggles that I experience when I'm trying to socialize. Um, so I talked about how I went to a meeting for a school club that's it's like a Christian interest organization. You don't have to be a Christian to be in it, but it is like Christian affiliated. It's like a place where people go and just socialize and hang out and make friends with each other and stuff. But at these meetings, it's like the general meetings. Like we do like there are some like discussion topics about Christianity that we talk about, right? Um, so why would I go to this club's meetings? Because I'm not a Christian myself. I consider myself an agnostic. Um, well, for all intents and purposes, I'm pretty much an atheist. But I mean, so why do I go? It's because I think that like mutual spirituality is a really great jumping off point for relationships. And I'm not talking about just romantic. I'm saying like platonic relationships, all kinds of relationships. Because um, at this club, like in the meetings, we often pray for each other. So people in this club, they will like say prayers for other people in the club, right? So, and that's just part of the stuff that we do at the meetings. It's like the activity, you know what I mean? So I think that's really cool because it is kind of I think it's a pretty healthy and wholesome way to build rapport with other people. Um also I also, because I'm not a Christian, I am in this club because I want to understand people who are Christian. So I think mentally I'm quite different from, the people that this community would call normies. And because I'm sort of like the rehab room. I mean, my mindset is not as like cynical as rehab's is, and this is not like to throw shade at rehab. I think that he is based because of how cynical he is, but I digress. Like, I'm kind of more of a like a doomer. I guess most people would say that I'm kind of negative, that I don't see the bright side of things, and I look at that I see like human nature in a quite harsh way. And I noticed that like the Christians in this club, well, they're not like this, right? Like the foundation that makes them believe in Christianity is like a foundation of faith. It's coming from a place of love, a place of like like faith in something that there isn't really like concrete evidence for. And to believe in something like that, right, requires like a state of positivity in your mind, right? So like, I think that these are like good people to hang out with, and also I just want to understand them. Because also well, this is like not common in the club, like because we were having this conversation, like this group conversation, and one person asked like have you ever had any like firsthand experience with God or with Jesus Christ? Like, has God ever spoken to you? And like no one in the group said yes. But I have heard about people online who have experienced this, right? Like there was a YouTuber who said, um I don't know if I should say his name. Okay, I'll just say it. His name is Ray Alex Williams. I'm actually gonna make a banner and just shout him out real quick because I think his channel deserves more attention. Let's see. Yeah, so this YouTuber Ray Alex Williams, he is a he's a male to female to male detransitioner. He identifies as a detransitioned male, and well, he quit okay, well, if for context, his he recently took his channel in a more religious direction, and he's talking more about like Catholicism and how he went from being, I think, I might be wrong, but I think he was an atheist before, but now he's a Christian. But he said that like one day God literally told him um to stop cross dressing. So yeah, I mean that there are people. I've one time I heard like I think like a woman on TV who said that she saw angels when they're like after an accident and they saved her. It's like I don't really believe in this stuff, but I want to understand the psychology and just like the life experiences of people who have firsthand experience with the supernatural, because that's like unlike anything that I've ever known. You know, it's completely different, completely something I've never experienced before. So I mean, this well back to the socializing thing. Well, this group of Christians uh, in my college, that they're not like-minded to me. Just like I said before, I'm more of like a black pill rehab room type of thinking person. Like, I'm the type of person who says like, "Oh, I don't fall for the copes." You know, like I'm a realist, not an optimist. Like that's so like these people are not very like-minded, and I'm doing this because I want to branch out and be able to mingle and form relationships with people who are not like-minded, because if you need to find like-minded people just to socialize, then that's very limiting, right? So that's like one of the issues that I've been having, especially since I got into the black pill community. Because the black pill community, I fucking love talking to the black pill community. Like I've built some of like maybe I'm not really like proud to say, but like it is kind of cringe and pathetic. I mean, depends on how you look at it, but like I can kind of only be friends with black pillars and right now. So like the closest relationships that I have, well, I don't have any friends in real life. The closest relationships that I have are online only relationships, and it's just me being friends with other black pillars. So and that is very limiting, right? To only be able to connect with people who think the same as you, and this way of thinking is very, very rare. It's like a fringe online community, right? So it is very limiting to only sort of only like relegate yourself to communicating with these people. So I just kind of want to like broaden like my social range, if you know what I mean. Like being able the skill of being able to communicate and connect with people who have a different psychology than your own. Very important skill for life. Um, yeah, I also in part one, I also talked about I went into more detail about like why I don't get along with other people, and it's just like fundamental differences between like what we're into. I also tend to find a lot of character traits that normies find unlikable. I find them likable. So in part one, I gave the example of the character of Mark Zuckerberg in the movie The Social Network. Most people think that he's unlikable, and I think that, well, to me, I find him likable, right? So that kind of causes a lot of social disharmony where I'm just not really like on the same frequency as the normies that I'm trying to socialize with. Um, I also went over some of my bad social habits. So one big one that I have broken, but it's gonna take a lot of work to try to like bounce back from this. It's like I used to constantly talk about getting girls, and that's how I would build rapport. That's how I would start conversations. That's how I would establish common ground with other guys. Because talking about getting girls, it's a very versatile conversation topic because like 95% of the male population is interested in getting girls, right? So it was like my go-to topic, and it would get me so far because it would, get me people to talk to. It would help me start conversations. And well, when I was in high school, like midway through high school, between the second and third year of high school, I switched schools. So I went to a different school in a different school district. I didn't know anyone at the new school, and I was very lonely for a long time. But I, I got to talk to a group of guys eventually, and how I did that was, I started a conversation with them about getting girls. So it worked. This was like the foundation of my entire social life. Also, jester maxing, and constantly talking about getting girls or not getting girls. Talking about like, oh, I want to. Oh, oh, look at Stacy over there, man. You think she's hot? Like, oh, I'm gonna. Oh, what should I say when I'm trying to text? I'm trying to text Becky right now. What should I say to her? It's like, um, yeah, it was so someone that I hung out with a few times before. They told me that I only hung out with him like twice in my life, actually. But he told me that the first time that he met me, which was like 2 years ago, I was constantly talking about getting girls and constantly like trying to get laid, and it came off as very douchey and kind of creepy. Um, yeah, so I had to stop doing that also because I started to present feminine, like going out in public wearing women's clothes. So it would be like just retarded to walk up to guys and start talking about getting girls. It just it wouldn't be congruent with my appearance. Right. So I had to learn. So right now I'm trying to like start learning socializing from ground zero with like without the use of these crutches, like using the topic of getting girls as the topic of every conversation. It's yeah, but after I like stopped talking about that all the time, like 80% of the words that come out of my mouth are just gone, right? So I talk very little now, and I'm gonna have to pretty much learn to socialize from scratch because the entire time, like my life up until recently, I've been just socializing by A, jester maxing, and B, talking about like the same topics over and over as like the go-to. Um, and I realized how uninteresting I actually was because when I removed these topics, then like nothing, like almost nothing else is left. So yeah. Well, the last point about socializing I want to touch on is this normie. Well, it's the last thing I want to touch on is something that black pillars. It's like a common sentiment in the black pill community, and that is the idea that normies are brain dead, that normies don't have any original thoughts. It's like that people in the black pill, they say, oh, like normies only talk about the Kardashians and the football game, and they barely know anything else. They don't have any intellectual thoughts. They don't have any knowledge. And from my experience, I think that this is like it couldn't be further from the truth. It's like the utter opposite of the truth. Because I think that normie conversations are characterized by vast knowledge breadth and not necessarily like a high amount of knowledge depth, although that is still very common. But vast knowledge breadth is and also high adaptability because normies can like have a good and fluid conversation about literally like any topic because they have a lot of information about general things. It like amazes me, just like the sheer amount of information that the average person knows. Like it's actually insane. And for me to be able to catch up to that, I would literally have to like study in order to catch up to the knowledge level of normies. And let me just because I have this in my notes. It's like an example. I just it's like a very long list of things that normies talk about, and it's obviously not exhaustive, but it's like a single conversation between two normies. They can talk about like someone's birthday, you know, a social gathering, and then they can relate that to like memories in their life and some sort of interpersonal conflicts, so some drama that's going on right now, and then they can talk about like their work, and they all know a lot about a lot of different people, you know, from their networking and shit. And they have a lot of like stories and pieces of knowledge that they relate these to. So like a conversation could then like jump to some like a TikTok meme, and then they talk about fucking like Andrew Tate, and then like machismo culture in like in Mexico or some shit. And then they talk about some fucking Netflix series. They talk about like, oh, adolescence versus like Euphoria or some shit. And then they talk about the fucking Epstein files. You know, then they talk about some like Venezuelan currency inflation. They talk about the bands they like, a fucking internship, and like they complement each other on their outfit and makeup, and they have to have some knowledge about these things too because they can like talk about their favorite like makeup brands and outfits and stuff. Then they can talk about their opinion on fucking like Chapel Roan or some shit, and then you know they can talk about like a local restaurant that they like and how their family makes really mager food, and then they can talk about the fucking war in Ukraine and the job market, AI and the economy, and they can talk about a fun fact about pigeons, and then they can like tie it back to like the Green Beret or some shit, you know. And if they're Christians having this conversation, then I wouldn't be surprised if they sprinkle a couple of Bible verses in this conversation as well. And I didn't think of all of this stuff off the top of my head. I wrote it in my notes because I can't think of all this stuff like on the fly. It's like all this normies know a lot about a lot of different things. And meanwhile, I barely even know very much about my own family. You know, it's like, and the normies that I meet in these like, let's say, niches of expertise, for instance, hackathons, like they're super knowledgeable compared to me. You know, like they know about all the latest frameworks. They have a bunch of side projects, bunch of internships lined up. These guys that I meet at the hackathons, man, like they're very good at what they do. Um, Man, and it's like it's very humbling, you know, to see like just how far I have to go to be competitive in the tech job market, like the CS, you know, software engineering, AI. Because man, like all these guys, bro, they just know so much. And you know what else amazes me is like the neurotypical thing is that they expect you to come up with all of that information and process all the information that's coming to you from the other person talking when the background music when there's like music playing in the background that's like 80 decibels. Normies can still like they can process at like lightning speed even though there's fucking like loud ass music in the background. It's insane. You know, and it's like when I find myself in these conversations, I often just am very quiet because I have nothing really to say because I just don't know anything that they're talking about. So I'm just kind of listening like a podcast to just try to absorb knowledge, even though I don't retain very much of what I hear. But you know, or sometimes I ask like basic questions that slow the pace of the conversation. And yeah, just I'm really just not up to I haven't really just like not caught up to all of the knowledge that everyone else seems to know. Um, yeah, so that's that. So that's pretty much all that I talked about in the last stream about my social life. So let's see, full screen. All right, it's time to move on, guys. See, section two. Wait a minute. What? Right. Wait a minute. Did I like write anything about? Oh yeah. Actually, I forgot. In part one, I also wait a minute. What's that? I was just looking at my notes there. In part one, I also talked about the honesty problem. Like the authenticity problem because I'm trying to well, I'm applying to several different internships right now. I'm trying to find work. Start to really try to kickstart my career. Um, like it is the honesty problem. Like it is a big problem for me. Um, because let's just say like even in a job interview that there's so much like lying that I have no other choice than to lie. Because if like the hiring manager asks me like where do you see yourself in 5 years, I can't be honest and say, well, I see myself working at a company that pays more than this position. I can't say, well, I hope I'm not working here in 5 years. Because the thing is that I don't really want to have like a consistent career. Like my ideal, hypothetically, like my ideal sort of a career lifestyle would be like I work for a short period of time and then I stop working and take like a year off just at living off my savings. And then I find another job that I work for like a year or 2 or 3 years, and then I take like 1 or 2 years off to just, you know, chill and do my own thing. I would like to do that, okay, but I can't. Practically, I can't because employers don't want to see gaps in the resume, right? Like if I have a job, it's basically just like red flags. Like employers really don't want to hire people like me, or I mean people who work and live the way that I wish I could, because it's just like a red flag for someone to be hopping from job to job with long gaps of time between each job. Like employers just don't want to hire people like that, so I have to like lie and pretend that I actually like to work all the time. That, oh yeah, yeah, in 5 years I'm really excited to see myself being the manager in this company. Yeah, I'm really passionate about this stuff. Come on, man. I mean, I hate having to do that. Like it's also the thing that I have to also hide my true feelings from coworkers because I don't know, like you can't be too careful because it's like if I tell my coworkers, maybe one day that information might find its way to my boss and then they might fire me. So, I just got to like keep my mouth shut and put on a mask whenever I'm at work. Um yeah, and I can't live the way I want, like if I lose my job or if I quit a job, I have to immediately get another job because oh no, I can't have the gap in the resume, right? Then they're going to ask questions. I can't let that happen. So, um, another thing that I talked about is ideological hangups. Um, and what I mean by this is like I think that people who work certain professions, like in the military, like let's say that you're like the guy who's coordinating the drone strikes, or you're the guy who's making the bomb, or let's say that you work in a slaughterhouse, you're the guy who's killing the cows. Maybe you're like an animal handler working in a factory farm where like the chickens are in these cages that are like very 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 small and the conditions are very poor. So these people, they might have like moral um qualms about their work, and they think, oh, is it really right to do what I'm doing, I'm making money, but just contributing to like harm, like a massive amount of harm. And I think that is like totally normal and common to have, depending on your profession. But I have ideological and ethical hangups about my work as well. But it's very weird. It's the black pill incel type of ideology, like stuff. Like so, it's like, oh, is it really? Oh man, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing by working for Instagram because I'm just making it worse for the sub fives. Like, I go like, oh man, I don't really want to work for Tinder because I don't want to improve their app. I would actually like to see Tinder fail. It's like because I believe I'm like a black pillar, and I'm the guy who like roots for the sub fives and wants to see sub fives succeed in society. Honestly, at the expense of Chads and Stacy's. So I don't really want to contribute to any tech project that's going to improve the lives of Chads and Stacy's more than it would improve the lives of sub fives and lonely, ugly males. But I gotta make money, and I'm gonna have to like f- always feel bothered by the fact that I'm doing something that I'm like against ideologically. So yeah, that is just kind of brutal, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that's it for the recap of part one. And before I go into the main meat and potatoes of part two, I know that I've been banging on about this thing in like my past few streams. Like if you've been keeping up with my latest content, you've probably saw this in like every video. But guys, like if you could participate in this online study that I'm conducting, I would really appreciate it if you could also make sure to fill out the Google form at the end. That is not optional. It's required. So look, in order to get any meaningful like results out of the data, there has to be enough data. So um right now I'm just like spamming this because I want to get as big of a sample size as I can. And I'm gonna release the data, the findings on YouTube. Um, I'm just gonna let me just post the link in the chat right now. Okay, wait. Um, yeah, guys. So here is the URL to the study. It should take you about 5 minutes to do. And again, be sure to fill out the Google form questionnaire at the end, please. All right, guys. Part two. And section three is about what I want in a career or a line of work, which may not necessarily be a career. Like I don't know. It's like freelancing a career, or is it just something you do to make money? Aside from your main career. I don't know. It depends. So let's see. Oh, brutal sleep schedule, bro. Medican, yes, I've watched Asmongold's videos, but I don't like know him personally aside from that. I've just watched his videos. More YouTube polls and data reviews. Yeah. I'm if it, I mean some people have asked why I used to like publish so many polls in the community tab, and I'm gonna use the data from most of these polls. I'm going to reference that data in future videos, and it's to like describe like patterns about the black pill community. Like for instance, like, oh, are most black pillars going to the gym? Are most black pillars rate themselves as like sub 5 or above a 5, like all that data I'm going to use for future videos. Oh, I already replied to that. Okay. You are a normie. Nobody likes you. You're a normie thinker. You cope hard with drugs. Yeah, dude. Um, Look, I haven't smoked. I'm happy that I have not used drugs today because I haven't smoked any weed today, and today I've had more energy and I've been more motivated, and my mind's been like clearer and sharper than the days when I do smoke weed. Um, but I don't feel as good, so that's the trade-off, right? It's like I feel kind of shit, but I get more stuff done. Versus with weed, if I'm high, I don't get anything done, but I feel good as fuck. So like, you are a grade A coper. The only pursuit for most of us is just work 40 years and downshift. Yeah, dude, that's really sucks, man. Like, hey, dude, that ties to the title of the stream. Because do you think it's like worth a try to try to get like free from working? Because I really, like a lot of guys in this community, I'm sure all of us want this. We want to like break free from the 9 to 5 grind. We want to be able to make money on our own terms. But also, we know that the chance of that succeeding is very, very low. So I'm going to talk about some of my thoughts about this topic at the in the last section. Section 4 is going to be about entrepreneurship. All right, so this is what I want in a career or a line of work. So, what the question is, what kind of careers do I like? Or, read, understand this as like dislike less, because I hate effort in general. So what careers do I dislike the least? What careers can I tolerate the most? So here I have a chart, and it's like a linear spectrum. So on the left uh, side, I have the careers that I think that I would dislike, and the careers on the right are the ones that would appeal to me more, right? So what's the pattern here? What's the pattern here? Well, I have no specific career preferences in like in any like area of interest, and what I mean is like a lot of normies that I've met, they say that they're gonna choose a career because they're interested in a certain like area. So someone might really like to work with animals, and because of that, they might choose a career that has to do with that. So they could be a veterinarian, maybe like a marine biologist, or like the person at SeaWorld instructing the dolphins or something. Um, or if someone says that they really like to work with electronics, that's something that they just enjoy the doing, then they might be an electrical engineer, they might be an electrician, they might get into robotics or something like that, because that's like the topic that they really enjoy. I don't really have something like that. Um, and also, so you know how like a lot of people, that there are people who like to work with other people more, who tend to be interested in these like people facing positions, like a receptionist, maybe like a news anchor, something like that. Or there are some people who don't really like to work with people, and they prefer more solitary jobs where they're not constantly like face to face with other people. And I think that I do like to work with people. Um, except like the jobs that you see on the right side of the spectrum, it's not really like it's not like a talk show host, right? It's not like jobs that are about people. It's basically like I like to work with people in a job that is not just about that. It's kind of I think the next slide will describe the whole thing a lot better. But like I want let's say that I want to be a game dev, a game developer. Like I would much prefer to make a game with with a team of people rather than alone, right? And same thing with like like what was it? Oh, just it's just like a software development. I much rather prefer to work on a team rather than alone. So I actually like to work with people in that way. But I don't seem to be interested in like in like being a therapist or being like a speaker. Um, Also, I was just reading over my notes because I prepare for these streams because I can't think of everything I want to say off the top of my head. But so let's look at some of the jobs on this chart that are like the most that I would find the most intolerable. And I think that these are the pretty common jobs that most people would find very uninteresting, like a janitor, or like a call center worker, or working in fast food, or being a truck driver, right? So a lot of people don't want those. Um, well, I think that in the careers, like, hold up. Okay, my thoughts are all over the place right now. Let me just try to organize them. So I think these are some traits that I've found are like the traits that I want in a career is one, upward mobility. And that's like a common reason why people like obviously don't like the janitor jobs, because it's like you're not going to be a like senior janitor. It's like there's not really much upward trajectory. There's not like potential for growth in stuff like that. I also want there to be creativity and novelty, but um, like variation and novelty are not the only things that I want. Because if we go back here, I put flight attendant in, like in flight attendant is like on the left side. So I would dislike being a flight attendant, even though flight attendants get a lot of variety and novelty by traveling to lots of different places around the world, right? And I don't want to be a therapist, even though therapists, they get to hear about a vast, variety of different people's experiences, right? So it's not just about variation and novelty. Um, and here's something that's super important that I really, really, really want in a career is time inconsistency and flexibility. So I don't like jobs that are like time based, like 9 to 5. Like you have to clock in and clock out, and you're paid based on the time that you work. I'd rather have a job that has like flexible work hours, and all that matters is that you get the result done by the deadline, and you can work on it on whatever you need to do whenever you need to do it. Um, I mean, like all the stuff that I'm saying is like pretty like career wise, it's a pretty lofty goal, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to come across as like entitled to any of these things, because I know that Gen Z has like a reputation for not wanting to work. But I'm just saying, like in my ideal career, what I want, um, and the time inconsistency and flexibility point is like closely related to passiveness of income. And as I just said, I want to be paid by like getting the result done, as opposed to like being at the office for like a specific amount of time. Okay, so what n- what really is the pattern what's like the rule that describes what's sort of the rule that explains a very large part of like why I like or dislike the careers on this chart. Um, so I found that whether I like or dislike any career choice generally follows this pattern: reaching people via the creation of an intermediate object, which will then, so so it's like I like to work with other people. So it's I would prefer to work with a team, and like this team, like we together create something, and then that thing that we created then reaches a bunch of people, providing them, benefits and returning us money and status. But it must be through the creation of this intermediate object, right? I don't want to reach people directly. For instance, like I don't want to be a comedian, for example. 'Cause I don't wanna be someone who's just, like, standing on stage and, like, telling jokes. And sure, it is reaching a lot of people. It's making a lot of people laugh, but it doesn't involve the creation of this intermediate object that is then doing the benefiting to the people. You know what I mean? Um, and also, like, creating is not enough. Like, it's not that I just like to create things and that's it. Because if I lived on a deserted island, I would never like, why would I fucking draw a picture? Why would I make a video if I'm on a deserted island? There's no one to like watch. Why would I make a movie? There's no one to watch it. It's I have to be reaching people through the thing that I create. It's not enough to just create the thing. Like the creating the thing is only a means to reach these people. But I, I don't want to reach these people directly. I don't know. It does sound kind of weird, but this pattern is like the pattern that describes that best predicts whether I would find a career appealing or not appealing. So let me give some examples. Like I wouldn't want to like care for, let's say, aquatic life on a small scale. Like I wouldn't want to be like the person at the aquarium who's like taking care of the fish. But I would actually be quite excited to be on a team working on a new technology to like install in fish tanks or something, or to like save the coral reefs and stuff, right? As long as I'm working on a team to create that thing, and then that thing, as long as it exists, is gonna benefit like a whole market of people. So like I also would have zero interest, like I would very, very dislike the activity of like going to a park and picking up trash. But I wouldn't mind being on a team of people who is like designing a new trash compactor or something. So like this also explains why I ranked YouTuber as like more appealing than streamer, because a YouTuber makes a video and then that video is like a permanently created object that just stays there on the channel and keeps accumulating views for as long as it exists. Whereas the streamer, like, yeah, you do save your streams and you can watch people can watch streamers past streams, but it's mostly focused on like directly delivering the entertainment to the people only when they're watching. And when the people stop watching and when you're not streaming, then you know the benefit kind of goes away, right? So basically I want to create something that lasts a lot longer than my effort does. So here's what I mean by this. Like, a career that I dislike would be like I go to the office, or like I go to the if I'm like a janitor, I go to the building that I'm cleaning, and then only for the time that I'm there cleaning the floors, I'm getting paid for cleaning the floors for how many hours I'm doing it. And as you can see on the left side, the bottom graph on the left side, the benefits over time, I made it like go up slightly on the last two. and that's supposed to represent like getting a raise. But for a career that I like, I would like for the effort and the benefits to be decoupled. Um, because the let's go back to this one. The creation of the intermediate object rather than directly doing things for people. The intermediate object allows for the decoupling of effort and benefit with respect to time. So on the right side, this would be a career like being a YouTuber or being the owner of a website or app. Like I like careers in which effort and benefits, and by benefits I mean benefits to myself in the form of money, and benefits to the customers, benefits to society. Um, like all of those things I'm calling benefits. I like it when it is uncorrelated with my effort with respect to time. And like this pattern here pretty much explains like why like a large part of why I like and dislike all of the careers that are listed here. Another thing, um, I tend to be like a very sort of like end result oriented person, and a lot of people say that like I need to find something that I enjoy doing regardless of the outcome, regardless of like any financial reward I'll get in the end. You know, it's like someone might be passionate about playing the guitar and they might just play the guitar like in their room, even if nobody else is there to hear it, right? But I'm not like that. Like the only reason that I would play a guitar in my room is to practice to get better at playing the guitar so that one day I can play the guitar for other people. Like for me, it's completely pointless if there's not some external like results to be gotten from doing anything. And for me, the result enables the process to be enjoyable or tolerable. So let's say if some weird apocalypse happened that like wipes out all of the internet and all of the telecommunications technology in the world, i- I would not make any YouTube videos because no one else can watch them, right? If if there's no one else who can watch the YouTube videos, you would have to put a gun to my head for me to make any YouTube videos. It's not that I dislike making videos. You know, I tolerate the process, and sometimes I even enjoy the process of producing videos, but the outcome is a prerequisite for me liking that. So when normies say that I need to find something that I enjoy regardless of the result, that makes no sense to me because the result heavily influences how much I'm able to enjoy the process. All right, guys, final section, entrepreneurship. Maybe you could be an e-beggar. What's an e-beggar? In celibate luck. Yo, listen up, okay? Credit card max, loan max, take out all your money and put it in XRP, XLM, or HBAR, and you will never have to work. All right, guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about this, guys? Trust. Nah, you tripping truck driving mogs, bro. I mean, good for you if truck driving mogs for you, but I mean, the only reason that I would want to do something like this to never have to work again is so that I don't have to do shit like driving trucks. Because I would really, really not enjoy that. It's all about the passivity of the income, bro. The more passive, the better. In celibate luck, brutal. Man, why are my streams so like devoid of people watching? Am I that annoying and unwatchable? Because when ClownTown streamed, he had like 50 plus people watching at once. And right now there's like three. There's three watching this stream right now. Oh man, I really need to step up my game if my content is really that non-engaging. Because damn, I don't know if it's even worth it to continue the stream. All right, whatever. Let's get on with it. Entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is something that I've like always wanted to do. Like I've always found, when I was a kid, I found like the stories of like the Silicon Valley innovators, to be very inspiring. Being an entrepreneur in an area that's like, related to technology, it's something that I've always found to be very appealing, right? So, I want to get that passive income. You feel me? But like there are some, I guess, like facts of the reality that I'm just upset about. Um, so one is just like the competition, and it's like it's just that for every idea that I can possibly come up with, like because there's like 8 billion people in the world, right? So for every idea that I can think of, there are probably hundreds of thousands, millions, or even tens of millions of people out there who have also had the same idea, depending on how niche it is. But it's like if you come up with an idea, even an idea that seems original to you, you better bet that at the very least there are hundreds of other people in the world working on the thing that you want to make right now. And this makes me think like damn, what's the chance that I'll be faster than all of them to the market? It's like 99% of the things that you think of, they already exist. There's already a business out there that's doing it. And then the 1% of the time where there isn't a business out there doing it, is people it may be because it doesn't work. People probably have already tried it and failed. And if not, then there's people working on it right fucking now. And they're faster than you, and they're more knowledgeable than you, and they have more resources than you. So like, man, I just feel like really unmotivated because every time I think of an idea, I think of how long it'll take for me to like work on it, or it'll be faster if I find a team, but it's just I just keep thinking like by the time that I get done developing this thing, wouldn't some bigger company or like people who have more expertise, wouldn't they have made it already? Like I'd hate to see this happen. It's like let's say it takes like 1 year for me to create my product, and 11 months into the development of this product, someone else releases the same thing but better. And if you think that this is like a rare occurrence in like the field of technology and AI, it's really not. In like computer science and stuff, it's really not. Like everyone is trying to work on the next advancement, like LLM related advancement. And if you decide to work on it, what are the chances that you'll be the first to release this thing? Because some big AI company is already working on something that's 10 times better than what you'll be able to make. So, like, it's just it's like the field progresses so fast that some regular person like me could never hope to develop fast enough to keep up with the pace of how fast the entire industry is moving. That's just how I feel, like, and also, if I do end up being fortunate enough to be the first to the market, if the idea is good, then why wouldn't, like, a company with a large team just quickly copy it and, like, come out with a clone that's, like, a lot better? Like, I'm just, like, one guy developing. It's like any group of people with resources can stumble upon the thing I made and then just copy it and make it way better. Like, an app that takes me 5 months to develop can probably be made in, like, a week or less by a team of professionals. I mean, this it being like this, maybe it's a sign that I just don't have enough experience programming. Maybe it might be more worth it to maybe it's not gonna be such a, like, unsurvivable situation if I had more skills. I don't know, man. I just hope that, like, these skills don't become entirely obsolete, like AI takes over, like, 90% of programming jobs. Like, okay, fuck then. Fuck you gonna be doing? Just as an entrepreneur in general and not related to, like, software development, I just have, like, entrepreneur anxiety, or more accurately, wantrepreneur anxiety, like a wannabe entrepreneur. So it's like every time I see, like, an ad on YouTube of something that's really, really cool, but not super complicated and not super large scale, something that I possibly could have made or could make in the foreseeable future, right? Every time I see an ad for something like that, I go like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that? I could have made that. I should have made that." And it's like me seeing this stuff happen over and over makes me just get very anxious about the state of the market and just the sheer competition. Like, it's like for every idea that hasn't been made yet, it won't be long until someone does make it because there's just so much competition. So it's like I get this feeling of like there ain't enough room in this town for the two of us, right? Because sometimes if I think of an idea that I believe in, that I think is good, I kind of get this like rushed, anxious feeling because I think, oh, I have to make this product soon because if I don't, someone else will, right? So it's like, oh, I feel like no, I don't have very much time left. It's only a matter of time until some other guy makes this thing. Um, Edman23 asks, have you made any money from YouTube ads? Yes, I have. I made like $20. But that was when my channel was monetized. It's actually been demonetized, but not because of like it's not because my videos got like demonetized for being controversial. Um, it's because I didn't have an ID to verify my AdSense account with. So I'm in the process right now of getting the documents together to get a government issued ID, for me to get a job and also for the YouTube and for other things, like buying alcohol and shit, you know what I mean? Because dude, I don't have an ID. I don't have a driver's license. And another thing is it's like, what are the odds? I'm asking in like the most black pilled way. Is it even worth it to try? Because what are the odds that you'll even get like a semi-passive income? Because even like a semi-passive income in entrepreneurship, in business, it's very hard to come by. Because like in most categories of business, the competition is just too cutthroat for your business to survive if you get passive and get complacent. So I think like people all want the passive income, right? But if your business is in a field that's very fast moving, a lot of competition, like AI, like digital products and stuff. Like chances are you're gonna have to be working your ass off every day to keep maintaining it just for your competitors to not drive you out of business. So it's like, yeah, sure, you're a business owner, but it's not as passive as you hoped it would be. And other kinds of business like owning a restaurant, or maybe like there are lots of businesses that it's not really passive income. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people think like the CEO has like a good life. And well, don't get me wrong. I mean, they do have a good life, but it's like if you look at the daily routines of these CEOs, it's like they like get up at like 5 a.m., answer emails, then they go to the gym, then they go to the office and they stay at the office for like 10 hours and they're just working. They're just like round the clock working, working, working. And they sleep for like 5 to 7 hours a night. These like CEO, that's like the workload of a CEO. It's not so passive. Like it's rare for you to have the type of business that would allow you to be that type of guy who's like working on his laptop for just like 4 hours a week, and you get to like sit on the beach and shit, and like sip your fucking martini. You know what I mean? Like what are the odds that you'll actually get to that point? Because think about it, like if the whole reason that you want to be an entrepreneur is to work less, is to free yourself from the 9 to 5 monotony, what are the chances that you're going to achieve that passive income that you're hoping for versus, the more likely outcome that being a business owner will actually make you have to work even harder than you did before. So if not working hard, it's like if working less hard, if like the 4-hour work week is your goal, what are the chances that you'll get that versus the business actually increasing the hours that you work instead, right? Like, what do you think about this, bro? Is it worth a shot to even try? Um, well, barely anyone's watching the stream, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a response to that. But like something I want to say about what I just said, like if the whole point of wanting to be an entrepreneur is to work less, but a lot of business owners actually work very, very hard, right? So what's the chance that you'll be able to actually work less as opposed to more by being a business owner? I think that there's like a whole flaw. There's like a very big flaw in this motivation, and this is a flaw that I have in my motivation. It's like if you want freedom from working or you want laziness to be the goal, I think that's kind of a bad mindset because if you focus on non-work as the end result, then it might make you inclined to be lazy right now. And it seems to make sense that this is like it seems to make sense that this is like a common cause of motivational issues that people have. It's like if your goal is to like just sit around and play video games, and you think, okay, I'm going to work super hard to make a bunch of money, then I'll be financially free, and then I'll have the freedom to just sit around and play video games all day. But if that's what you want, then your brain is going to like short circuit and go like, oh wait, but then I can just play the video games right now. And then your brain's going to make you just do the thing that you wanted in the end right now. So you're not going to do any work, right? So that's why like all of the people that I see out there who are successful in business, that are successful in entrepreneurship, they have a passion for like producing innovation. They have a passion for building a great company that makes a great impact. And that's why they're so motivated. Like the goal that they're trying to reach isn't to not work. Like, you think the CEO of Apple, like, you think he all he wants is to just not work? Is no, it's because he's actually passionate about building Apple. You know what I mean? Like, that's so I feel like people who have my mindset, people who want like not working, people who want freedom as like the end all be all, we don't even succeed in business. And like I mean I know that I need to have something else to work for. I know that I need to have something greater to strive for than simply the absence of work, right? In these entrepreneurial pursuits. But it's like if it's not the freedom to not work hard, then like what do you am I even gonna work for? But it's because it's like I said before, when I was talking about the careers that I'm into in section 3, I don't really have like an area of life that I'm just passionate about. You know, like some people they might be really passionate about social justice. That's they might be really really passionate about something like that. So they might become you know an activist or a politician because it's where they have passion, right? Or someone who has passion in music and they love it so much that even if there was no one else out there who would hear the music, even if they never make a single upload to Spotify, they would still play the piano in their room because they just love to do it. There's nothing in the world that is like that for me. It's all about the result, and the result that I want nothing more than any other result is the freedom to not work, the freedom to be lazy. That's all I want. Like there's nothing that I want to strive for other than this. And like the whole entrepreneurship thing, it literally all ties back to this. Like it's not because I'm so passionate about building a fucking website. It's it's because the website, you know, gives me the opportunity to just have the very small possibility that I might not have to work very hard one day. And that's like what's driving it all. That's what I'm going towards. Like that's fucking it. And, you know, something fucking essential is missing from this, right? Like no fucking wonder I'm not motivated because there's nothing in the actual pursuits that I really am passionate about doing. Make a Turbo Academy transmaxing course. Just lol at this, bro. It just depends on how smart someone is. Yeah, the IQ pill is brutal, but I think hey dude, hot take, but it's not very black pill. Well, it actually is black pill because I think conscientiousness is I think a large part of it is like not under your control. But you know you can develop it as well. But I think it's like everything is like a mixture of genetics and environment and even personal decisions. So, well, what I was gonna say is that like I think conscientiousness um is more important than raw intelligence. And if anyone thinks that that's blue pilled, then well, I'm going to say that there are people who are naturally gifted in the domain of conscientiousness, and there are people who are not gifted, and they have to do a lot more stuff to in order to become as conscientious as what you know what I mean. I'm really trying to, you know, man, on these streams, like I just really have a lot of trouble sort of getting my thoughts across in a concise way, and I really want to work on that, and that's why like well, one of the goals I have for my YouTube channel is to make shorter videos, um, to be able to communicate, you know, the same information in fewer words because I know that it's possible because like the amount of rambling and just like unconcision in my speech on these streams, like you can cut this stream in half of its length and still maintain like all of the information in it. Like there's just so much fluff, and man, it's like working on social skills and speaking skills and just practicing fluency. It's one of the reasons that I stream. Um, Joseph M says both are important, and I agree with you. There's some very smart people who are poor. Oh, right. Also, yeah, I didn't mention this before, but also like your socioeconomic background matters a whole lot. Your culture also matters a whole lot. You know, there are a lot of people who don't have the privilege of having parents who teach them the right values. And I mean like the values that would be conducive to achieving success. Okay,
Hello.
yo, what's up, clown?
Yeah, I mean, usually when I look at things like success and whatnot, like career success, I would say I mean, I'm very much in the um. Sorry, I'm kind of in bed right now. I'm a little tired, but
Okay.
um, rehab room. I'm very much in the school of thought of rehab room where um things are a product of your environment and how you grew up more in like the material sense, right? Like, for
Mhm.
example, career success would come from the resources you have, the looks you have, and so on and so forth. Like I disagree with it being based on like values or morals or whatever, right? Because I think those are a product of um, the resources that a person has, right? Like for example, um, if you're already like very wealthy, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
you're going to have morals that are conducive to benefiting yourself, right? Like saying that, oh, it's all about hard work, bro, right? That kind of mentality benefits people that are already rich because like it implies that they're just hardworking or inherently superior, you know?
Yeah. Um, so I mean, I think in when black pillars talk about like factors for success, I think they're talking about it in like a way that's like very obvious and on the nose. And what I mean is like when it's like if you ask the question, what's like the biggest thing that predicts being rich? It's like obviously it's like
Yeah,
being rich.
wealth.
Yeah, already being rich in the first place predicts you being rich later on, right?
I mean, I can give like so many anecdotes of like that happening, right? And I
Yeah,
can and like I hardly see like you for all the people that talk about like how they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps or whatever, like there are 10,000 other examples of people just being able to find for example find a job out of college, right? Unless they're like a giga boomer or something like my parents, right?
yeah,
Like I remember I think I talked about it in my stream earlier, but like um what do you call it? Like I was at a funeral, right? And I mean, obviously, like all the kids there were Hapa, right? Like I'm Asian, but like a lot of my relatives marry into white families, right? Like the women,
Yeah.
and like their kids had like a friend. One of their kids had a friend. It was like some white guy, right? They went to like private school together,
Mm.
and I swear you not, like I talked about like, well, what do you do for your career, right? What was the process of like getting into the current career you have, right? Like I was curious, and he
Yeah.
told me that like he was doing chemistry, right? Completely useless degree,
Uh,
completely like, what do you call it? I mean, no offense to like hard science people, but like if you're doing like physics or like chemistry, like it's not directly transferable to like business, for example, right? At least in this case, like
yeah.
his dad was already like a rich like finance guy, so he literally just got like a job right out of college doing finance, right? Because he told his dad like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," and his dad was like, "Oh, maybe you should just work in finance. I'll get you a job." And then he makes six figures, right? And like it's either that or you're like tall and white, right? And good looking. Like I know someone who like yeah, they did their I swear you not, after their first internship, he got a job there like making like 75K or like almost six figures or whatever, right?
Right.
And I'm here doing like 3+ internships and like different jobs that like require some skill, right? And I'm still what, barely breaking 12K a year. Like I don't even make 12K a year, right? And I have like a computer science degree and everything.
Uh-huh.
So like like all this like effort and all that shit, it doesn't matter. It's all about connections. Because like you have this whole idea of the job market being shit, but apparently there's the hidden job market, right? Connections, like jobs are plentiful. In reality, jobs are plentiful. They just hand them out to people that they know, you
Yeah.
know,
Uh-huh.
like this. I mean, the job market is tough only if you don't have the connections. And there's another kid, right? He wasn't even like rich or anything.
Hmm.
Like, right out of college, right? Like he graduated like a year before me. And I was working at this as a temp at this job, making what, like 1650 an hour. And I thought for the time that was good, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to like call him up, right? Because like I didn't want this job, right? I wanted to move to get another job, and I said like, "Oh, bro, do you want this job?" And he was like, "Oh, I already have a job. I'm making like $45,000 a year as like an accounts payable specialist, right?" And so like my job offer was basically useless, and guess how he got it? His dad, he literally, like, his dad's relative just gave it to him, you know. And now he can, and that's important because like those are the things you need to move on with life. Like you don't want to end up living in your parents' basement. Like you can't have a relationship. You can't like have a GF, because like the thing is, in your 20s, like you got to move in with a GF, right? Like usually that's the case. Like it's not like high school where like you're just around each other all the time in the classroom or whatever, right? Or at lunch or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
And that's how real relationships last. And like even with geomaxing, you need money for that, right? And if you're stuck in this limbo working for McDonald's, or like, I mean, I made a few video on this, like on this thing, like these door-to-door scams where they don't even pay you minimum wage, they just exploit the shit out of you. Like you're just gonna be you're not an adult, right? You're just a child plus once you graduate college, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is very brutal. And I just well, I wanted to ask you about are you what's your like socioeconomic background? Are you like middle class, upper middle class?
Upper middle class. But it's just that my parents are boomers. They're not, like, my dad literally helped my mom find a job right out of college, but he doesn't want to help me at all, you know? Like he says like, "Oh, I gotta make be my own man. Oh, I gotta find a job myself." But bro, if someone if you have the rich guy, right? Like a small hat man who like gets their kid a job, right? And they're making what, like 50K a year. By the time you get to that point, he's going to be making like six figures, right? Like you're already like just handicapping your own family for no reason whatsoever. Because you're going to be behind by the time you get to their position. It's all a competition.
Yeah, that's true. Um, it's like with like the whole networking stuff, because I obviously you have a lot more experience with this stuff than me. So is it really true that like someone who is actually like totally unqualified for the job can get a job just with networking when they're unqualified? Wait, there's another clown town here. Whoa, guys, clone Max, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I just kicked the other one out.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, what
Did
were you
you
saying?
did you hear what I said, or were you out of
No,
it?
I didn't hear it.
So can someone who is unqualified get a job just by networking, and how are they actually going to do
Yeah,
all
of
that?
course, of course.
Yeah, well, what's it going to
Like
be like?
what do you call? I mean, in our previous stream with that other guy, he talked about how one of his like I don't know if it's his relative or something, but or it's like some Chad friend, like he literally, or I think this was someone else I was talking to, but like he got this like finance job, right? And they were literally going to teach him on the job, like show him the ropes, right? So
Yeah.
it's not about like having the skills there already. Like you need some way. It's kind of like that loop between you need experience to get a job and you need a job to get experience, right?
Yeah.
And like what do you call it? Like in some situations, if you have connections, right? Or if you're like good looking and appealing for the office, like they actually want you. Like they'll show you the ropes, right? They'll put in the investment to train you up to scratch, right? And that's just not something that most jobs give you, right? Especially these days, no one wants to train anyone. Like they just want to like plop you into an office and like you either sink or swim, right? But if
Oh,
you're like one of these people
say
with
that.
connections, they can just like they'll show them the ropes, right? They don't just plop them in the office and expect them to do their job.
Oh, okay, wait, I see. So that makes a lot of sense. So the people who have connections, the people at that job are more likely to want to, give them more of a hand to show them the ropes.
Yeah, of course, of course.
But it's like I feel like
At this point,
you're saying
at this
it's like
point, like I can't even get a Mick job. I can't even flip burgers, right? That's how competitive it is here. There's so many like immigrants from like Latin America where I live. So like whenever I go to a job, right? Like when I go to the job descriptions, it's always like, oh, needs to know Spanish. Like, are you fucking kidding me? The state language here is English, right? And I have to learn a foreign, like a language that isn't even mainly, it isn't even like the state language here, and just to like get these shitty jobs. And like that's why the only places that contact me are these fucking sketchy ass MLM jobs that don't want to pay you hourly, only commission, makes you like drive around, spend your own gas, like do free labor, and like at the end of the day either make negative money or what, like $6,000 a year for working 12 hours a day. Like what kind of job market is that?
no, that like reminds me of it because what you just said, it literally sounds like word for word, not word for word actually, but it's like the 12 hours a day and like 6,000. That's like I don't want to say the name, but it's like this internship program that like
Yeah,
there's like
but all you
recruiters
do
and
is
stuff that
sales.
cancel
All you do is sales. You don't gain
door to
any
door
good
sales.
experience.
No, but I feel like that's like okay. Do you think it's blue pill for me to say that like if you do like a 12-week fucking boot camp of door to door sales, it's
Look,
really
look,
really worth it because it's worth it because you'll basically have like no social anxiety for the rest of your life.
look. Just hear me out, right?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if you look at what these jobs actually do, just think of it as like retail, right? You're just like standing around at a Best Buy, like explaining the product and like what do you call it? Helping them move the product to their car, or like you ringing them up on the
Yeah.
cash register or whatever. It's literally just that, but like instead of the customer coming to the store, you go to the customer, right? Because what exactly are you doing? You're explaining what the product is about, like, except they don't pay you per hour, right? So you're basically just doing the exact same thing, but like you're out in the sun, you're fucking baking your ass off, like you get sun damage on your skin, so you age like a dog, you hit the wall
Oh,
faster, um you're
yeah.
spending your own gas, so on and so forth. But like at the end of the day, it's literally just a retail job, right? Because like, I mean, if you go to one of these offices, they're wearing like suits and shit, right?
Hmm.
But like, if they're like, oh, we're gonna be selling AT&T, right? If they're like if one day they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna be selling Omni vacuum cleaners, right? Like all of a sudden, everyone changes out of their suits and wears their like pathetic ass outfits. They're their McDonald uniforms, right? They wear their like, what do you call it, duckbill baseball cap with like the Dyson logo on it, and like you look like a fool. You look like you work at McDonald's, you know. So like it's all a fucking scam, you know. Like the suits and the office, like it's like what do you call it? Putting gold leaf on a turd, you know. If you like rub it against the wall for a little bit, it's just you're gonna realize that all of it is just a turd, you know.
Yeah. That's quite the rehab room esque school of thought.
Yeah, I despise this like toxic positivity mentality, right?
Mhm.
Like because here's the thing, literally every scam, every like PUA get rich quick scheme relies on this way of thinking, right? If you
Yeah.
succeed, oh, you attribute it to the company, or like if you fail, then it's all your fault. Like everything's on you, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's like this hyper individualistic mentality that blames you if like you're an inkwell or like incel or like poor or whatever, right? It blames you for it, right? Even if you have like legitimate concerns, oh, it doesn't matter. It's all negativity. Oh, it's all just you being lazy, blah blah blah. Just blame it on the individual, right? Regardless of how much evidence you have of the contrary, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just an inherently uncritical way of thinking.
Hmm. Yeah, it is pretty uncritical because like a lot of the people who it's like when in these like debates between the two sides, it's the people who say like pull yourself up by your bootstraps, they usually just argue it based off of faith, whereas the other side they're bringing up the stats and say, oh, like 90% of
Yeah,
people won't make.
and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's negative. That's literally just a cult mentality. Like it's the same deal with like working in retail, right? Like it's like the minimum wage, maximum effort sort of thinking, right? Like why in the world should you do that? Like if you were a sane human being, if you were coming at this objectively, right? Like you
Yeah.
would agree that it's bullshit. Minimum wage, minimum effort, right? But these like sadistic ass managers, like they would say minimum wage, maximum effort, and they'll come up with these like stupid reasons for why that's the case, right? And
Uh,
like most of these reasons are nonsensical. It's just, oh, it's all about like the best, like they always come up with these excuses, right? Oh, it's about the individual. It's for your benefit. Oh, you get to be a more responsible person. Oh, you get to uh like, you know how these boomers think, right? Like, oh, I don't want to provide you any help. You got to do it yourself. You got to build character, blah blah blah. You know, this is why I don't like this idea of character, you know, or like how
uh,
the morals you were brought up with, like it's meaningless, you know. It's a product of the resources. Yeah,
yeah,
that's all I have to say.
we shouldn't promote that truth though.
Hmm?
We shouldn't promote that truth though. I mean, like, dude, if you tell everyone the truth that like if you get people to stop caring about character, and like most people already fucking don't. But if you get the rest that still do care to stop caring, like, dude, the world is finished, man.
I mean, like the people who don't believe it, like manipulate the people who do, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like believing it is gonna get you to be one of those guys, though.
No, no, it's too late for that.
Yeah, it's too late. So it's like, I mean, you just kind of awoke to like a reality that you can't change. So
Wait, how many people are on this stream?
there's six, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, see, you got it good, bro. And is it because you work so hard on YouTube? Like, I actually
No,
think
no,
you
it's because I've been on like my growth, my channel growth is extremely slow. I never shot up. Like I never got like lucky. I never ended up like fucking that loser maxing fake cell, you know? Like I didn't like shoot up from nowhere, you know? Like
yeah,
the growth of my channel was very, very slow, very consistent. And you know, I've been in this community for like almost a decade at this point, you know? So like I mean, people who've listened to me, they know my principles, you know,
yeah.
and they stick around for that basically.
Mhm. Dude, like connections are so important.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. My 6'7" Chad Light friend was calling my other friend lazy for weeks when he was unemployed while he got a job handed to him by his mom at a media company. Exactly. Right? Like this is what I'm talking about. This is all that happens. Like um what do you call it? These Chads or whatever always have a way out, right? Like that's why like have you heard of like the old boys clubs at like these fraternities, right? Like I mean,
yeah.
during my undergrad time, I never really belonged to like a legitimate fraternity. I've only been in these like fake facsimiles of the actual fraternities, right? Like instead of like normal people or like good looking people in these fraternities, it was just like the ugliest guys out there, right? Usually I don't want to sound like racist or anything, but it's usually ends up being like the Asians and Indians, right? Like we're at least in the United States, right? Like all the Asians and Indians create their like nerdy ass like shitty club, right? And
Uh,
like we LARP around. We wear suits. We create these like galas and shit. And like I mean, and the thing is like if you look, they do like this shit that where they pretend to be like all like these high powered like professionals or whatever. But like bro, we have like plastic forks and like plastic uh utensils and plastic cups, right? And we put like what grape juice in it, right? We don't even have like real alcohol.
yeah.
And like everyone was ugly, right? So like I mean we tried to do like the fraternity like stuff, but like it just ended up looking cringy, right? And the thing is like if you look at these like actual fraternities, they offer you career advancement, right? Like the old boys club always offers you a career advancement, right? And um with these like fake facsimiles, like usually uglier people are like lower on the socioeconomic totem pole. Because like rich people marry into like good looks usually, you know?
Yeah.
Like my dad told me, "Oh, I should have married an uglier woman because then I would get along with her more or whatever." But like, bro, that's stupid as fuck. You know, I would have been even uglier if that happened, you know? It's already bad enough being Asian, but I mean if that happened, it would just be game over, you know?
Right.
Yes, connections are important, 100%. I mean that's all that matters in this economy, you know?
Hmm. Wait, so like what you said, like it just like dawned on me, like because I can look at it from like a whole different way than I used to now. Because it's like I used to
Yeah.
think like, oh, it's a dog eat dog world. The job market is just like versus everyone else in
No, no.
like a battle royale, right? But it's
No,
not.
no, like
It's
the
actually,
what do you call it? The desirable people like eat the majority of it's like capitalism, right? Like the rich people like take like basically the entire cake and we're just fighting over the crumbs basically. You know, that's just how things work in this economy. Like we always fight over the crumbs.
I mean, I wasn't really like saying that. I mean, I think that that is true to an extent, but I was like my insight was like that it's like the reason that it is so cutthroat is not actually because of like the dog eat dog violence, but it's because of like compassion but in the worst way. So it's
What?
like the compassion of everyone else's mom helping their kid get a job, and you have to find it on your own. It's like
I
it's
mean,
actually
in any normal family, like everyone does have compassion for their kids, but like
I mean, the people of the
they have
opportunity
different capabilities, right? Like what do you call it? Some ghetto family is going to like not have as many resources as a rich family, you know, like they're gonna be able to send them to the best schools with the best connections. They're gonna have like the family members who own businesses, you know.
Mhm.
And what does the poor guy have? What connections to work at like the local Taco Bell? Like who fucking cares? Like anyone can get a job at Taco Bell, right? It doesn't like this is what I mean. Like the connections are useless if you're poor. And this is another thing, right? Like in high school, right? Like I mean, I grew up in an upper middle class background, but all of my friends are working class, you know, because like those all the upper middle class people they hang out with each other, and I because I'm short and Asian, I always hang out with the outcasts, you know.
Mm.
That's just how things came to be. Like all of my friends work in these retail places or like are basically McLosers, right? And
Yeah.
like when I go to like the family gatherings or whatever, like all of their friends are like these like private school finance bros, right? And look at my friends, they're all fucking McLosers, right? Like no
Mhm.
offense, but like they're kind of fucked, you know, if you just look at the economy these days.
Um, yeah, like when I first got into the BP, I started to notice like how having like a low tier job correlates with like not looking very good. Have you
Yeah,
noticed?
because
Yeah.
usually they're poorer. I mean, obviously there's like worse nutrition, like also like we're ethnic, right? Like whenever I go to when I went to work at like this fast food place, I was the only person that was college educated, right?
Mhm.
Except the general manager. Everyone there was like either Latino or like brown Latino or like African American or like I mean there weren't even any other Asians, right? It was just them.
Mhm.
And the only people that had college degrees there were these like corporate trainers that came in, right? It was opening day, like
Yeah.
the store was opening, right?
Mhm.
And all the corporate trainers were like white and college educated, and they got like actual real salaries, while like the team members, the team members or whatever the fuck, were all ethnic, right? They're all ethnic and ugly, you know.
Yeah.
And like in this world, like ethnics are considered ugly, you know.
Yeah, I see that. Um, well, one thing you said about Taco Bell, like you said that connections don't matter for that.
I mean, anyone can get a job at Taco Bell, yeah. I mean, it's basically just the default option if like you don't have any connections, like you just work at the Taco Bell.
So what do you think is like stopping you from getting a job at McDonald's? Like it's not it's a dumb
Oh,
question.
I mean, in my area, there's like a large immigrant population, right? So you're competing against all of them. I don't speak Spanish,
Oh,
so like
right. Yeah, the
it's just
language.
very
Yeah,
competitive.
I see. Yeah, because you don't have that language thing on the job description, but they
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that clears it up then. Just had a
I mean,
brain.
isn't that crazy? Like I was born here, like I got my education, and everything, and I can't even get a Mc job because like I don't speak Spanish.
Uh,
Like,
yeah.
are you
Well,
fucking
okay.
kidding
Well,
me?
what job would be? I don't think that you would have to speak Spanish to be a janitor, though, or garbage man.
I mean, if all the other like staff are Hispanic, I mean, they're going to try to like talk in Spanish. Like that's what they're most comfortable with. Like they're going to like tell you what to do, train you in Spanish.
I guess.
I mean, have you ever had a job?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I mean, you'll learn about this stuff once you get into the job market.
Yeah, but dude, it's so crazy. Like how you have a CS degree and just like you can't get a job. I mean,
Yeah, it's just AI and these like H-1B immigrants from India.
mm,
Like, I mean, if you go to any of these offices, like most of them are from India. And you know, like I think in the previous stream we did like what do you call it? Like someone went to like a career fair, right? Or I think I was talking to someone else, and like literally all like 99% of the people at that career fair place was from India. All of them, you know.
Okay. Hmm. Well, speaking of career fairs, like, does it
No, it doesn't help at all. No.
it doesn't help at all to take a picture with the fucking recruiter?
Nope, nope, nope.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
I mean,
That's
unless you can like unless you're like very attractive or whatever, and they want to like they have like a base incentive to like be your friend or like have your number or whatever the case may be, you know.
uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you notice this like I remember I'm 24 by the way.
Mhm.
Like I already graduated college, but like um what do you call it? Like I remember going to like a bar or something, right?
Yeah.
Like tall white guys just have this inherent factor about them where they can just like like they could just say like hey bro blah 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 to the bartender, and like the bartender will like be like lively and respond to them positively, right? But if I say the same thing, they're gonna kind of like look at me weird and be like, oh hey little bro, do you need anything, you know? Like
Oh,
you
brutal.
know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of how they talk to a child instead of their peers. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
I'm just stuck like that. Like I'm 5'3", like I'm not growing any taller. Like it's just I'm just fucked, you know.
when at what age did you stop growing?
Like 17, I think.
How
You
old
know,
were you when you were like 15?
15.
I mean, and how taller were you when you were like 15? Do you know?
I don't know, like 5 feet.
Dude, like you, so you really like kept growing like late into your puberty. It's not like you just stopped growing
No,
early.
no, I mean I stopped growing like pretty early. Like I think like I just remember going to the endocrinologist when I was 17, right? Because I was like complaining about my height. And they couldn't really do anything about it. It's just I'm just fucked. Like I'm like you know about like gigantism, right?
Yeah.
Like it's an excess production of growth hormone. Like they grow really tall because like the growth hormone is released when like their growth plates haven't closed yet, right? But like
Uh-huh.
if they've already been fused, if you get like the brain tumor like after puberty, you just end up like ogre maxing, right? You just become really ugly. Like you don't grow taller because that's just because the growth plates have closed. You know, like instead of your bones growing longer, they grow wider, right? And you just look like Shrek basically.
Oh, brutal.
You know, I wish I had gigantism if I was.
Oh.
I wish I had it like if it was like before puberty. You know, so I could be like what in the high 6 feet, you know, like 6'10" or something. Like that would be so nice, you know. But instead I'm 5'3". What a fucking joke.
Brutal, man.
Man, it's just over.
Do you what would you say is like the difference between you and like the Asian guy with the same stats as you who's working at Google, or is it all just connections?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a um
I mean, they just
is
have like
there
more
anything that you
freedom. They have more freedom to geomax. You know, that's the thing. Like, I just wish I was like because like being Asian in the U.S. is probably the U.S. is probably the worst place for Asian men. You know, and like I was able to get some dating success when I went to like Latin America, but like it's really expensive. It's like $1,000 to go there and come back, right? And that's
uh,
before like you paying for the hotels and stuff, you know. And I just don't have like a stable job or anything, so I can't be like a if I do have a relationship, I can't like effectively form them, right? Like I can't move in with anyone. I don't have the funds for that. Like I can't even move out of my parents' house, let alone move in with a foreigner, you know?
yeah. I mean, it is like a completely different lifestyle that they have. But I meant like, I meant to ask you, is there, in terms of like what's keeping you from getting a job in CS?
Oh, it's just very competitive. Like
Mm,
I literally did like what a 5 hour technical exam. Uh, with like I mean I usually work with Java, right? But I basically just did like a 5 hour technical exam, and they just decided not to go through with the process, you know.
right.
And this is just for an internship. This isn't even for like a full ass job, you know.
Hmm.
And I just had like a lot of these interviews that has gone nowhere, you know. And when you and the thing is like for most of these jobs they just like hire people they know.
Yeah.
They just have the interview out there so that they can say it's just for legal reasons, you know.
Right. I mean,
What's
like
this
aside from
Marfan syndrome? I wish I had Marfan syndrome. They grow tall.
yeah, I mean, aside from like the whole nepotism and connections thing, it's like, do you like does it feel? Is it like it's just like unluckiness that causes someone to not get a job like a whole bunch of times in a row, or is it more likely a skill issue? Because like when people say it's just like oh, it's just so competitive, right? And that makes it sound like, which could be the case, that
You see, like,
it's just like they just flip a coin like 10 times and they just get all tails in a row. Like it's just that they just got unlucky that many times in a row because somebody else just had happened to be at the top of the
I mean, I
roller.
mean, I mean, like everyone knows that like the job market sucks right now. Like it's not like rocket science or anything. Like just look online. Like everyone knows about it. Like
Of
it's
course,
not
but
just a
how is
me thing.
I mean,
And
that
like
is
everyone knows like there's a massive layoff going on as well with tech workers,
of
or like
course.
it's already happened. So like you're competing against like people with 10 plus years.
How random is that selection though?
What do you mean?
Like how random or non-random is it? Like is it just because if competitiveness is the reason why someone doesn't get a job, then it's just like they just got unlucky because they just got like 10 tails in a row. Like if they flip the coin 10 times, um, or is it more like skill based? Like how much of a balance do you think there is? I'm not sure if I asked that clearly, but
I mean, it's the same sort of way of thinking as like these like MLM schemes. They talk about the law of averages, right? Like you're just supposed to like constantly get these rejections selling these products, and like that they justify the law of averages is that basically like giving you a consistent income, right?
right,
But like if you look at people like at like doing commission only, right? In these MLM scams, like they're probably making what like 12,000 a year, right? If they're working like 12 hours a day or whatever, you know. So like it really doesn't matter like how you justify it. Doesn't matter how you justify it by saying it's a numbers game. If the numbers don't pan out, like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
hmm um,
You know, it's not like I'm not trying either. I'm applying for jobs every day.
maybe it'd be easier to ask this question with pictures, man, because I seem to not be able to ask this question, but you have like provided some valuable information as well, so that's good.
Okay. Oh, my battery's low. Let me plug this in. Yeah, I wish I had a what do you call it? The syndrome, Marfan syndrome, so I can grow tall. You know,
Yeah,
even if I die at 70.
brutal. Someone else wants to come on the stream, so I'm gonna invite them on.
Yeah, I mean, the first job I had out of high school was like, what do you call it? Washing dishes. Like they paid like $8 an hour or something, bare minimum back in the day.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, I was like, okay, fine. That they actually replaced me with like some Hispanic guy
Hmm.
because they'll work more for less, basically.
Yeah.
Hmm. The other guy joining it.
Waiting for him to respond.
Okay.
Yeah. One time my dad told me that I think it was like one of my cousins or something, or like a friend of one
What?
of my cousins, because he had like a CS degree and couldn't find a job.
Wait, the guy that you're talking to?
No, no, not that guy. Like I'm saying, just a guy that is like a friend of a cousin, or that like my dad told me about once.
Wait, what happened to him? Can you
Like,
explain again?
he has a CS degree, but he can't get a job, so he's in
Yeah, of
like.
course. I mean, that's kind of expected now. I mean, like you have all these boomers that were like, "Oh, learn to code," right? And once push comes to shove, or once you're ready to like get a job or whatever, all of a sudden these boomers like implement AI and want to get rid of all of our. They want to replace like local labor with like Indian labor, you know, and like what what do you call it? Yeah, and now they're like, oh, go into plumbing, go into trades, right? And next thing you know, like everyone's gonna want to do that, right? Like everyone from like Latin America and India are gonna take those jobs as well, right? So like you're just like it's just going to be a constant game of cat and mouse, you know? Like, oh, learn to code, now learn to do the trades. Now learn to do law. Oh, now do medical. Oh, now do government. And it's just gonna be like a constant game of cat and mouse, you know? So, going for something really doesn't matter. Like what the only thing that stays consistent is like being a capitalist, right? Like owning the resources. Because
Mhm.
like they're always doing well.
Hello, Brad.
Hello, Turbo. Hello, Clown.
Are you a wage slave as well? Or like
Y-
can't find a job?
Yeah, I'm sort of like I've been unemployed since I was born, man. It's hard to find a job.
Have you
You
have you
do need
graduated?
connections. Hmm?
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
was talking about this for a while already. Like have you graduated already?
No, I'm in my last year. I'm studying food science, and it's
Mm,
going to be hard for me to find a job because the only job I can get is like a fucking health inspector.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I did computer science, but I can't find a job. I've done like 3 internships, right? I already explained this, but like, I know some like tall white guy, right? Like, all he did was do a single internship, and he just got something out of college. And like, comparing our lifestyle is it's just it's really distressing, right? Like, you look at like where he lives. He lives in like a nice modern apartment, what paying like over 2,000 a month while I'm just living in a basement. You just can't move on with life. You can't like have your independence or anything. You know.
Yeah. It's like something about like the sciences that like cucks you, while like others have like good connections. Like, I don't really understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like right now, I'm just trying to look for a minimum wage job, and I can't even find that these days. It's like they're all taken by immigrants as well.
That is true.
Because like
Like,
when you look at the requirements, it's like must speak Spanish. Are you fucking kidding me? Like America's an English speaking country, not a Spanish speaking one, you know?
yeah, sort of like the Latinos, man. Like over here, we have like the Currys, man. They're taking over everything.
Yeah, they're taking over all the tech jobs, right?
Yeah,
And you have like fucking Elon Musk talking about like how we need more H-1B migrants when like we can't even find jobs. And you know, like it's not the best and brightest. Like look, like American and Western institutions have the best universities, right? Not India. So like we have the best talent. We're the best and brightest, you know?
yeah. I mean,
Not India.
if they truly were the best and brightest, they would like keep their ass planted in India and try
Yeah,
build that up.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just want some cheap labor.
Yeah, they
That's
just want
it.
cheap labor. Same with
Yeah,
the migrants from Latin America, you know? Like
yeah,
I was born in this country and I can't like I did everything the boomers wanted me to do. I learned to code and so on and so forth. And now AI and migrants have taken those jobs, you know?
yeah. So like, why do you think like you can't really like get a job? Like, is it because you're like a location cell or some shit?
I mean, I live in a place where like there supposedly are a lot of tech jobs, like servers everywhere, tech companies everywhere. They're just not hiring, you know.
Oh yeah.
They're hiring H-1B people because like what do you call it? Like I remember have you had those like scammy interviews where it's like door to door, but they like advertise it as an actual corporate job?
No, no.
Like whenever I have these group interviews, right? If like it's advertised as a corporate job, like I remember like being in this interview with one other person. It was like some guy from Nigeria, like Bulusu or something, you know, like that's I was competing against Mr. Bulusu, and like I sold myself a lot better. But like it's just the sheer quantity of and like he said his previous job was like as a business analyst, right? So that's a job I would want. I'd love to be a business analyst, but these people are taking those jobs instead. You know?
Hmm. So he used to be a business analyst,
Yeah. And
but
what do you call it? Now he got suckered into this interview, right? Doing because like I mean you've heard of like Devil Corpse, right?
mm,
No.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
yeah,
Corpse.
Yeah, it's basically one of those. They advertise themselves as a corporate position when it's not. It's basically just sales, glorified retail.
yeah. Like I fucking hate sales, man. Like especially how you have to like meet all these quotas in order to get paid.
Oh, have you done it before?
Sales? Nah, I've never even had a job in my entire life.
I've had 3 internships and I've had like more jobs on top of that as well.
Yeah.
Because I really tried to like bust my ass and like clown max for the corporations, right? When I was in an undergrad.
Mm.
And you know, none of it panned out and the best looking people just got like their first job out of their first internship. Like doing the same thing they did, making 75K a year, you know.
This is funny. It's like, oh, you gotta find connections in university, bro. And
I
then
did.
like,
I fucking clowned around like an
yeah.
idiot. Yeah, I
I
danced
mean,
around like a jester. KlownTown.
meanwhile, Sanjay, who just graduated, got his like first H1B1 position by Trump.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like Trump. Like he's pro H-1B.
Hmm.
I mean, they try to pretend to be like anti-immigration, but they're pro-immigration when it like suits their businesses.
Yeah.
It's literally just class war right now.
Uh-huh.
Also, I hate being short.
How tall are you again?
Yo, clown.
5'3".
But
Can you hear me?
damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I look like a fucking child.
Man, and I thought being 5'7" was bad.
Oh, 5'7" is bad, but 5'3" is a world of hurt.
So do you get like rejected for your height?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Like I have to go to these like third world shitholes just to find anything.
You've geomaxed?
Yeah, pay thousands of dollars.
No. It's not worth it if you're not getting ass. Like if you go there and like don't get ass,
Yeah, that's why
it was a waste.
you gotta use
Yeah.
Tinder there before you go. Tinder passport. Like Latin America.
That is true.
I mean, dude, I can't relate to y'all motivated guys, bro. I mean, the lengths that guys go to get ass. I mean, I would rather just
Yeah,
not take
all of this
action
shit,
and sit around.
all of this like all of this like clown maxing, all of this career maxing, like all of it is the only motivation here is to like find a relationship for me. You know, like why do I need money? I want to move in with a significant other. I want to be able to geomax. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. Those are my life goals, you know?
Yeah. So, do you want to start a family?
Not really. Like I don't want to bring any kids into this world. Just a relationship.
So, like, you just want like that love and like living together and just like having intimacy and
I
that
think there was a term
experience.
for this. Like there's an acronym for like uh parents without kids.
A
I don't
dink,
remember.
like double
Yeah,
income,
Dink.
no
Yeah,
kids.
Dink.
Mm.
That's some cringy millennial shit right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still Gen Z though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're the like Gen Z is actually the poorest generation out there.
Brutal, man.
Wait, are you
Like
guys like
we're
older?
way poorer than the boomers, like by the when you compare age like year by year or whatever, right?
Huh. Yeah.
So
Like
are you guys?
this is yeah, this is why I think what do you call it? Like uh people just don't get into relationships, right? Like back in the day, a single man could like earn enough to like live by himself, right? Even if he's working at McDonald's, he can rent a decent apartment, right? Since they have their own place, and like if some like woman was interested in him, they could move in together, right? Nowadays, like if you're living with your parents, like hell no, boomers aren't going to let their kids like bring their girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever into the house, right? That's just not a thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, unless they're like cool parents, like this.
Yeah, but like we're talking about boomers here.
Yeah.
You guys have to suffer in order to build character, man.
Yeah, that's how my dad's like. I mean, that's how most boomers are like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are unironically it's true because they have better character than us.
Well, they
No,
have
they
more
don't.
money. They have more money, more opportunities. The prices were lower. You're not
Yeah,
paying $10 for a dozen eggs. You know?
they were like literally born in like the perfect time, the exact perfect time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
look at all the billionaires. They're all boomers.
Sure, yeah.
I envy them like so much. Like I hate them, and but I also envy them too.
Yeah, it's like tall men.
Mm.
Like when you talk to a tall guy, right? Like
Yeah.
like what do you call tall guys? They don't want to admit that their height's an advantage, right? They just take it for granted. It's just it's just like it's like really annoying, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Have you ever tried wearing lifts before?
Yeah, it's like the thing is like if it only works as long as like you can tolerate like you're basically just wearing slippers, right? And they better not come off, or else like everyone's gonna know you're a manlet.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
better not come off. Better not. I mean, it's like what do you call it? It's like being like a spy or something, and your like mask pops off, and they're like, oh no, here's the interloper. Let's kill him. You know.
Yeah. I mean, like, TBH, we spend like our entire lives wearing shoes. It's not really.
Uh,
I mean,
also
you spend
another
most of
thing
your
is
time outside in Moxie.
another thing is like no one wants to be with you, right? So like, what do you do? What do you do during a week? Sit in your room, go on your computer, sleep. Like that's all you do. You know, as a sub 5 guy, all you do is those three things usually, or like go out to get groceries. That's it, or like go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, unless you have like,
no, go ahead, Brad.
go on. Oh, I'm just saying, unless you have a good social circle, that's it. You know.
Yeah, but like who would like who's more likely to be chosen by these people? You know. Like I mean people are like, oh, looks. It's not about the looks, bro. Relationships are toxic if they revolve around looks, blah blah blah. But
Kind of true though.
here's the thing, like who gets the opportunity to like relate with people, right? It's like a job. Like you need to be given the chance to demonstrate that you're good at doing the job, right? If you're just never given the chance to demonstrate your skills, then like that point is kind of moot, right?
Hmm. So like I would agree with what they say in like the sense that looks are not like all that matters for your dating success, but they are like a very huge like it's like the vast majority of your dating prospects. So like
Yeah,
you
like it doesn't matter if like you will gel with some. I mean that's what you call a friend, you know. That's what you call the friend zone. Like
yeah.
you can like it doesn't matter if you have a great personality if your dating pool is basically zero, right? Or like two people in the entire planet or whatever the fuck, you know. Or like a Tyrone or El Lardo or whatever. No one wants
Oh,
that.
okay, bro. That's a chill with the bannable like the gamer words, man.
Oh, whatever.
You said gamer words. Oh man. Do you guys think it's even worth like looks maxing nowadays?
Depends. Like I mean, you'll definitely get treated better if you looks max, but it depends on like where you are currently, you know, or like what your
Mm.
circumstances are.
Like that's just like gone like way too mainstream, and I don't know. Lots of people are just like fat cells, you know.
Yeah, that's why that's the first thing. Just lose the fucking weight. Like you're gonna get treated way better.
Mm.
99% of the time, just lose the fucking weight.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys think fat cell is Volcel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like not.
Just shed the fat. Stop being Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, so well it one thing I wanted to say is like it is interesting that like KlownTown is like bringing more of like an economic perspective to the BP space because the way that it usually is done is like aside from the looks aside of it, it's they connect it to like culture and so like how the sexual revolution ruined everything in the West and stuff and the oh boo feminism, right? So they focus on the cultural side, but KlownTown is like tying in the economic, which is, I think that's kind of cool.
I think a lot of cultural things are just a byproduct of economics, or like the conditions people are in. You know, like for example, if you look at the U.S., right? Why do people build wooden houses? Is it because like we just love wooden houses? No, it's because wood is cheap. You know, that's why like everything revolves around wood.
Yeah. That reminds me of like
And
this.
that's like a microcosm of like society in general.
Wait, what's a microcosm again?
Like the example I gave with like wooden houses. Or like why is it like in the UK everything's like made of brick, right? Maybe they have like the type of mud that's like designed like useful for making brick or whatever, or stone or whatever. It's cheaper to make.
You know, another thing is like tipping too. Like, you think we just like tipping people? Us Westoids?
Oh, bro, it's so shit, bro. It's the fucking mandatory like
Oh, I
something
hate that shit.
that is
Yeah.
Also, they
that.
add the tax after, like, on top of the sticker price. Like, I went to, like, the Tesco's or whatever in the UK, and everything just felt so cheap. Everything's just such a great deal, you know, transportation, food, even accommodations. Don't go to the Britannia, by the way.
Yeah, you make me want to like go to the UK to see what it's like. I've never been. I've never been
And
to like
China's even cheaper.
Yeah.
Or like
You're
better
gonna,
shit.
like, Turbo's gonna go meet wheat waffles in the UK.
Oh! Yeah, dude. I want to go to the club with him, bro. That would be so lit.
I don't like wheat waffles.
Okay, guys. How I've been looks maxing.
Okay, guys. I just put on my trousers. I'm gonna go to uni and study some maths. Oh, dude, he left. Like, what do you think about him leaving YouTube?
Whatever. I don't care.
He's gonna be back in 5 months. Like, top.
Oh yeah, you gotta get that sweet revenue. Those face rating dollars, pounds. You know.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the more successful grifters I've seen in these spaces.
I think the only true BP channels, like the big ones, is Face Null Mess and ITV. That's it.
Yep. Rehab Room is still a real one, bro. Oh man, wait, here's the thing about like Rehab and like you guys too, and like I agree with Rehab for the most part. I mean, I agree with him, but it's like I don't relate to like where he's coming from, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, because you haven't had a job yet, you know.
Yeah, so like I see things like the way that he does, but usually it only makes sense for people to see it that way if they've tried and failed. Whereas I have yet to even try, so I still feel like I have my whole life in front of me. So I have this like weird mix of like a doomer and a bloomer mindset.
Oh, the adult world's gonna grind you up.
Grind you up like wait, can you repeat that?
Oh, they're gonna grind you down to like being like Rehab Room, basically.
Yeah.
It's so brutal. Man.
Clown, so like when you went to the when you geomaxed, like wait, what are like all the places that you have geomaxed to?
Argentina, like Uruguay, some parts of Brazil. That's it.
Okay,
I
so
tried the UK. The
Latin
UK is still better than the US because like they just don't have that like anti-Asian stigma that they have here, you know.
Hmm.
Like it's mostly like anti-Indian stigma, right, in the UK, not
Yeah.
Asian.
So when you were in Latin America, did you like speak Spanish or learn any Spanish?
Just enough to get around. Like most of the dates I got with or were like English teachers and like people who like learned English, you know, or they just already knew English. Like the
Uh,
young people there, like most of them know English
right.
Mm.
because like they need it for jobs and stuff.
You got Chad treatments?
More like gringo treatment.
Gringo treatments.
Yeah. Hmm.
That was pretty
How did
fun
you
going to Buenos Aires. I want to go again.
how did you like go about getting asked there though? Just like cold
Just
approaching?
use Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah, just use Tinder Passport. Like go do it, use it for like a month beforehand and like just rack up like a few people you're talking to, you know, and then from there you can go there. If you don't get anything somewhere, just don't bother, you know. You got to feel it out before you like invest the money, basically.
Yeah. But it's actually like cool to see like a story like this where you haven't gotten any results in like the US and then you go somewhere else and the geomaxing actually gets you some results.
Yeah.
Like there's a
You
I
know,
mean I feel like either well I'm just like a guy who like hasn't tried. So, I don't even know if it'll work for me in the US. I guess maybe that's what's stopping me from geomax from wanting the geomax because like it never resonates with me when other people talk about geomaxing. I just like for me, I just never
Also,
had the urge
I
to
might
want.
just go to bed. Like it's really late for me. Like I can't
Oh,
stay up.
it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, clown. See you later. Oof, brutal. So Brad, are you like a KHHV inky or?
I'm not. Let's just say I've ascended. But to keep up with the tonality of this live stream, we're gonna keep that information classified.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean, it is cool for me to see like when someone like looks maxes and it changes their life, or when someone geomaxes and they go from like getting nothing to being able to get it like a taste of it. It's like it's like it's super fucking obvious, but it's kind of cool how someone actually did something and it actually worked, right?
Mm. You know, there was
Because
actually
the norm in like the BP is like I tried everything and nothing worked. It's like zero here, zero here. It's like every method gets you zero. But the fact that is like you can be like a sub five and you do something and it actually gets you something. And not to say that it's like good in this
yeah.
Chad tier, but it's like a method actually fucking worked for you. That's kind of cool.
You see, like there was actually this guy on the incel forums. He was this white guy from the UK. He got like zero matches. He was like a manlet. He was like 5'6", 5'5". He got zero matches. So what he did is he went to Thailand. Okay, he fucked a bunch of girls. He went to Thailand. He went to the Ukraine, and he went to Russia, and he just fucked a bunch of girls. And his life
Oh,
is just descended.
that's fucking astounding. It's like you said it like you didn't even have to try. Was that what it was like?
Yeah. I think like the guy like he's white. So I think this was like a case of JBW, but like, I think like whenever guys like they go to like these poorer countries, they sort of like get like sort of like that sort of clout, and that kind of helps them ascend.
Yeah, but wouldn't that just get like gold diggers? But it's like I see in these like geomaxing videos, it's like the women seem to be genuinely like sexually attracted to them. So like, is it just the JPW Halo and shit?
I think so. I don't know for like the other guy, Clowns. I don't know what his story was, but um, I wouldn't really consider like paying like I don't know like $9 for dinner in a third world country for a girl as sort of like paying for sex, you know.
Huh.
I think that's sort of like a custom, okay? Like you have girls in like the West who wouldn't even fuck you after 3 dates, you know?
That's still too early because I know I sound like a traditional coper, you know. It's like a lot of BPers like Clown, like he's like so done with that shit. But it's like I don't think people should fuck on the first date.
Why?
Because it's just like the degeneracy of the sexual marketplace, you know, like it's too like sexualized, and that makes it like hedonistic, and like it's just a lot more like shallow and trashy.
I mean, it's always been like that. Always been like that. No matter like what like the status quo or like what like the social values were at the time. It's kind of always been like that, okay? Like in the 1950s, for example, you know, they probably had sex after the first date, you know.
Well, less
Uh,
often though. Less often though.
uh we don't know that really.
Hmm.
Like if you talk to like a lot of old people, especially like if you live in the West, they'll probably tell you that shit. Like they could actually tell you that shit now that it's more socially acceptable. You see?
Right.
Like they couldn't go around bragging about it back in the day.
Oh,
But
back in my day, I used to take off her blouse before her parents come home.
yeah, a lot less vulgar. But
Hmm. I
yeah,
mean, it is just nicer to incels because they just keep it behind closed doors. But it's good because people like me don't have to see it. People like Clown don't have to see it and get mad all the time.
honestly, it's like those Chads who like post videos of them having sex in college and like post that shit on like Pornhub or some shit.
Oh, dude.
that, that's literally a major black pill right there. It's like you're literally watching somebody ascend.
Yeah. Because well, in seldom has like a technical definition, but do you think like how do you what do you feel like it is about? Is it more about the experience of someone like feeling sort of estranged from the dating market, or is it just like the factual sort of like you can't get a girlfriend kind of thing? Because there are a lot of people out there who can't get it, guys who can't get a girl, but they you know they're mentally like very different from B peers. So it's like they're in a completely different boat than incels, even though in another way they're in the same boat. So do you feel like inceldom is more about the experience than it is about the technical state?
It is about the experience, okay? Like if you're like hip with like the terminology, there are two terms. One is like true cell and one is incel. A true cell means that you've never had sex or have been in a relationship. And like an incel is like, see, it's like a very debated term. Like some say, oh, like if you have sex but never been in a relationship, then you're an incel. And they're like, oh, but if you've like had sex, you're not an incel. You know, it's sort of like a debate on the term incel. I would say that inceldom is more of it's sort of like a seasonal occurrence. Like if you let's say if you're like a 50-year-old man and the last time you had sex was in like 1989 with your girlfriend in college, then I'd consider you an incel. You're
Yeah, yeah.
or yeah, or at least not really an incel, but you're going through like a period of inceldom because you want a relationship but can't get one.
I totally do agree with that. Are you familiar with? Do you know any Spanish at all?
Yeah.
Oh, I think like incel as an adjective, it would be like the kind that you use with the verb estar and not ser.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I do agree with you. It's like if you're like some 50-year-old man and last time you had sex was like 30 years ago, then you're experiencing a state of inceldom right now.
Mm.
Um, do you think that the subjective experience of the individual factors in at all? Like to clarify, if someone had sex 2 years ago, but they feel really left out and lonely, and they feel horrible about their dating situation at the moment, versus someone who had sex 3 years ago, but they're actually really positive about it. Like who would be more of an incel?
Would be more of an incel. I'd say like the guy who went 3 years because he's sort of like on a longer dry spell.
Mhm.
It doesn't really matter what his outlook is. Like he's still an incel. Like
Yeah.
like
I don't know if this makes sense to you or the people watching, but I feel like you can experience being more of an incel. You can experience the toughness of inceldom more, and that makes you experience more total inceldom.
mm,
Do you feel that that makes any sense?
uh that does. I'm trying to think of an example here. Like Elliot Rodger. I'm this isn't gonna be really Fed posty, but Elliot Rodger, he while he was alive, he always talked about how he mogged everybody, okay, and how like he was handsome and got all the girls, but like um, or not how he got all the girls, but how women should like find him attractive, and he had sort of like a very sort of like narcissist a narcissistic, but it was ultimately a positive outlook on sort of like getting girls. But he never had sex before. He was still an incel, regardless of like how many incels he've made fun of on the forums.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just goes to show that outlook doesn't really matter when you're going through it.
But I was more asking like, are you even going through it if you're not suffering from it? If someone is suffering from it a lot, then they're going through it more than someone who is not suffering from it that much.
I mean, they're both suffering from inceldom, right?
Yeah.
And
They're both incels, but one is like a deeper incel, not because they have less sex, but because they're simply more upset about it. I don't know, man.
okay, if two people lost their legs in a car crash, um, they're still as like, I, for lack of a better term, useless than one another.
Right.
But the other one copes by participating in, let's say, the Paralympics or some shit, and they're just keeping their mind occupied on
Yeah.
stuff that's not their fucked up legs. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
that's basically like what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay, so that it is like a totally logical way of seeing it. Like a incel is just sort of like it's like the state of having legs or not having legs, you know? It doesn't
Mm.
matter whether you're happy or not about it. Um, okay, well, do you think that then there should be like a separate like term or something to describe people who may not necessarily be incel? Like maybe maybe they had sex like 6 months ago or some shit, but because I've seen a lot of people like that on like forums, like the looks maxing forums. These people, they have had sex, but they still feel like they're incels, and they relate to incels a whole lot despite not being incels. So, what do you think
There
about those?
there
Do you
actually is a term for that.
brain?
It's called a near cell, okay? And I'm just gonna read off like the Wikipedia. Like I'm on the incel wiki. So basically, a near cell is nearly incel and may experience lengthy dry spells or have to lower his standards to an extremely low level to obtain sex. They aren't Christless virgins or anything, but they have way less sex and with way lower quality girls than they'd need to find it minimally satisfactory.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's been a term for a while. So
But do you think it could? Okay, so do you think then because most people in the BP community say that women can't be incels, that there are no femcells, there are no female incels. So
mm,
do you think that there are female near cells?
no, I don't think
There's
so.
no female near cells either.
Because like um once you're a near cell as a guy, you have to lower your standards to find a girl. But once you're like a near cell as a female, you could get guys that you actually want if you go looking hard enough.
Wait, okay. So that's an interesting point you brought up. That's like a key point of disagreement. Like, you think that fem cells could get a guy that they genuinely are attracted to.
Hmm.
You think that they could get that, like, not very difficultly?
Yes.
Because I was under the impression that these women are just, what their brain finds attractive is just so picky. They're just so Chad sexual, so to speak, that they just don't find the men that they can get attractive.
Well, that's you can't really compare it to like guys like us because like we don't have a bunch of low tier packages throwing themselves at us.
But what if
Right?
you knew? What if you knew that there would be a bunch of low tier Beckys in Argentina waiting for you if you just got on that plane?
I can't answer that because I didn't really I've never left the country, but I don't know. I can't answer that really.
But I'm bringing that up as just like a hypothetical because people say fat cell equals vol cell. Okay, but what
Hmm.
if you know that you can get results if you geomax, but you choose to stay in your home country?
Then
Is it like being a femcell then? Because you know that there's something out there, but you just shut the door on it.
well, I wouldn't say that's a good argument because that's literally like literally for like men, you're like literally traveling the world just to find the scraps, right? But like a woman, like all her admirers, dare I say, are like within her general vicinity. All right.
Right.
I I understand what you're trying to say, but she she can find like the guy she likes just like very quickly, okay? And as you brought up geomaxing, like we literally have to like search like every fucking place on earth just to find like a woman we find attractive that will agree to date us, you
Mm,
know.
that's right. Yeah.
We like literally have to like discover like fucking Atlantis to find fuck.
Okay.
uh,
Dude, how much do you think social skills plays into this?
hmm I think it plays like I think it's like 50%.
Ooh, like and the rest 50 is like looks and other stuff.
Yeah, looks and other stuff.
Oh, that is a pretty like heavy weighting on social skills, compared to the popular belief in this community. So why do you think that is?
Well, this is completely anecdotal. So, I have whenever I go clubbing with the boys, most of my friends are like 6 out of 10s, 5 out of 10s in the face. They're like 5'9", 5'10", around that height, and I see them actually like they have very good social skills. Um, like obviously, like the women are attracted to them. Like that's the other big chunk. Like it's the attraction. But like since we're talking about social skills here, that's what keeps. Okay, and that's
Oh,
what helps you slay them. From what
right.
I've seen.
Mhm.
Like take for example, you have like two normies fighting over one girl. Okay, one of them's gonna walk away with that girl. Um, but one has good social skills, the other one doesn't. Who do you think's gonna take the girl?
Mhm. Yeah, the social skills, like if
Yeah, yeah,
the looks are matched, then the social skills is gonna be like what is next that takes the cake.
yeah.
Um, do like are you like good at social skills or have you like struggled with social skills?
You see, it's funny. I struggle with social skills because like whenever I try to talk to a girl, um, I just started like I just start stuttering.
Really?
My heart starts beating fast, and you know I tried to ask a girl out, but she got too creeped out. Um, anyway, I was like, hey Ashley,
Shit.
would you like to come study with me sometime? And she was like, no, sorry, uh, I have to do something this weekend. Uh, yeah.
Oh, brutal.
But yeah,
I struggle with social skills too, and I have like a big issue with stuttering. If you haven't noticed on this stream already, um, but man, it's like whenever I try to put myself out there a little bit, and I hang out with some people in real life, I can't help but feel like my social skills is holding me back so much, and I feel like the more that I hang out with people in the real world, the more that I start to bias my views on like social skills being important as opposed to like it being mostly looks. Because it's like it is so like clear as day. Like it has a fundamentally different vibe the way that other people communicate. Well, that's just like my anecdotes. Like, can you relate to this at all?
yeah. Um, I think that I think it basically has to do with like how you were brought up. Like if you had like overbearing parents, for example, that didn't allow you to like hang out with people, or maybe like didn't like approve of you getting a girlfriend and wanted you to like dedicate your time to like your studies, then that's basically why I think that happens.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I used to think that. I used to think that way until I saw my brother, because I have a younger brother. He's 6 years younger than me, and he's in high school right now. And when I was in high school, I thought, oh, like like the reason my social skills were bad was one because of my own inaction, but number two is because all my parents sheltered me. They didn't let me hang out like the Western kids. But my brother is raised the same way, and he has much better social skills than me, and he has no problem having friends. So I'm starting to think that it could just be like autism or something.
does he mug you?
Um, like facially, I think he looks a slightly better than I did at his age, He's also like 2 inches taller than me. It's like, dude, I can't. I fail to see like the some black pillars will say that we'll see that's the difference, but I fail to see how that little bit more look smog is going to make the difference. Like it's people that are make a lot of the guys that have girlfriends, they're not that much better looking than a lot of the inkies on these forums. Like, and I'm starting to think it's just like it's just it must be like undiagnosed autism or something.
You know, you're starting to sound like Turbo Blue Pill. Okay, Turbo White Pill.
Well, it's still it's black pill to me. It's just a different flavor of black pill because well, obviously, like autism is outside of your control, and it also has a like genetic, um, like roots. Is it really that blue pill, bro?
I mean, your tangent kind of sounds like something I'd read on like incel tears. You ever heard of that subreddit?
Yeah, I have heard of that subreddit, dude. It really sounds
Yeah,
like that shit, dude. Come on.
yeah. They're like, well, you probably have autism, man,
And
because
T
like
pill,
so
and
guys like see you literally just said I see guys who look exactly like you with girlfriends, man. Yeah,
but
that's a
it's
blue pilled way of thinking.
do you have you seen this about black pillars though? Because one like I agree with black pillars mostly, but I just dislike how they keep moving the goalpost. Because like if we just make the argument that 4 out of 10 guy has a girlfriend, you are 4 out of 10 and you don't have a girlfriend, and then they'll just go like, okay, well he has a girlfriend, but his girlfriend's probably cheating on him or something, or oh maybe they don't have quality sex in the bedroom. It's like okay, wait, but you don't have a girlfriend at all. What's causing that difference, right? It's like they'll always like deflect and point out something else that might be true, but they're not really like addressing the contention.
No, I mean they do have a point though, because we do not know what the hell is
Right,
going
they
on.
do have a point, but still, what's causing the inky to not be able to even get in the door, whereas that other ugly guy can?
Excuses?
What do you mean?
Like you see, the thing about being in like sort of like the black pill community is, and this is gonna sound a little blue pilled, but like once you once you get comfortable talking about your negative experiences, you sort of dwell on it and sort of like just soak up that vibe, and it becomes a cycle. It was like, oh, I'm a manlet, and um, you watch a video that says, oh man, it's brutal for me because I'm a manlet as well. You find like a whole community of manlets, just like discussing their bad experiences. Once you see somebody with like a good experience, um, since you have since you have like all of those like notions in your head built up from the negativity, you look at that guy and say, "Oh, you try to find like something like an excuse." Okay, you try to be like, "Oh, well, that she's probably a whore," or, she probably runs the relationship," or,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Mm.
I think like the types of black pillars are one, the go-getter, and two, the one who prematurely gave up, even though they have potential.
Yeah,
Because there are a lot of black pillars who try, though.
of course there are.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of black pillars who try a lot, and like I think most of them try a lot. It's like a misconception that like the average black pillar is a guy who just sits alone like on his couch and just like eats the cheeseburger and complains about Stacy.
Yeah. People think like black pillars, all of them are like incels. Well, I mean, sure, like incels are black pills, but not all like black pillars are incels.
Yeah. To what extent do you think like sheer dumb luck it explains like the disparities in outcomes? It's like it has nothing to if it has like nothing to do with your social skills or your looks or anything else. It's just that you just got unlucky like 10 times in a row. Like
Mhm.
maybe that could be the case that explains some like outcomes of black pillars. And it's like maybe there isn't like a reason. Like they keep looking for like a reason to point to. Oh, it's because that guy is tall. It's because that guy has money. But maybe it's like maybe there doesn't have to be a reason.
On like the woman's part,
On what do you mean on like the woman's part?
like how they pick the guys that they want.
But it's like I was talking about the randomness factor.
Oh,
It just it seems like ever more unexplainable. Like the more I look at this, how like why are there some guys who have just as good looks, just as good social skills as another guy, and they just have like wildly different outcomes. Maybe it's like location, or there's something else that we're not looking at, or it's just fucking luck.
it just has to be. Like I know guys that I mug the hell out of. They still have girlfriends. Hell, some of them even have like girlfriends I want to actually fuck hard.
Wow.
A little too strong there, but you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah, nice that you got that virility in you. High
Yeah.
test.
Right. I actually have really low T.
Oh, for real? Like what's your level?
Okay.
You don't have to share it if it's confidential information.
Oh no. Let's just say that it's pretty low. Okay, I'll just say it's pretty low. Slightly below average. We'll say that.
Okay. Wait, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, cool. Bye, Sneaky Ninja. Yo, I actually gotta like use the bathroom real quick. Do you want to stay on?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna head off. It's been cool.
Like right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off. It's
Oh,
been cool black pill time.
that's
Cool
been
black pill
Brad,
time.
Brad.
Yeah.
See ya. I'll be right back, guys. Yo, guys, I'm back. So, what y'all want to talk about? All right, guys. It doesn't seem like we have any more topics to talk about, so I'm gonna call the stream. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.